Before we talk about the padded practice, let's talk about what the Eagles did and what they had to do and why they did it. Now, Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Listen, man, you got three hobbled cornerbacks. You got Jalen Mills, you got Ronald Darby, you got Crevion LeBlanc. A lot of us were in assumption that Crevion LeBlanc was injured. No, Crevion LeBlanc, was not injured, and we were holding him out of practice to prevent injury because he was going to be dealt in the trade. That was not the case. As soon as the front office heard the news of speculation like that breaking out, they didn't want that to get in Crevion LeBlanc's head. So, hey, they went on and, released a statement or whatever in a press conference saying Crevion LeBlanc hurt his foot. He was also seen with the boot on, from what I'm hearing. And, yeah, when you got three hobbled cornerbacks like that, it's almost natural that you're forced. Now, we're deep at cornerback, but we're deep when healthy. So we were actually forced to probably look at a veteran who could be available. So they looked at Orlando Scandrick, and they ended up offering Orlando Scandrick a one-year deal. Now, I don't care what nobody else says. As you know, if you all been subscribed to me for a very long time, I'm going to give you the real. I'm going to give you the good and the bad on the Eagles. I mean, it's off-season, so it ain't that much bad to talk about, honestly. We always talk about the moves we made and stuff like that, all the good stuff. But Orlando Scandrick is trash. Orlando Scandrick is a long-time Cowboy. He's been trashed with the Dallas Cowboys. The first time Orlando Scandrick has had any sort of notable playoff success was last year with Kansas City. And at times, Orlando Scandrick was barbecued with Kansas City, man. Orlando Scandrick's about 32 years old. Yeah, he's a veteran. Yeah, he's available. He's not an interception machine. I don't really see Orlando Scandrick in his career around the ball a lot. He was a bum with Dallas. Now, Dallas got rid of him. Now they were quick to let us know he was a bum. That's why they got rid of him. But when he was with Dallas, he was okay. The dude's a bum. I mean, at the end of the day, man, I don't want him to make the team. But if we're not hobbled, then he doesn't make the team. But if we hobbled and we got some guys coming to this thing who not going to be 100% by preseason, then Orlando Scandrick could possibly make the team. Now, he's serviceable. I'll give him that. He's serviceable. But come on, man. Let's not act like let's not, as Eagles fans, let's not act like Orlando Scandrick is good now. Let's not do that. Now, in our base defense, how we're coming out in this first padded practice, I see a lot of Rasul Douglas and a lot of Avonte Maddox and a lot of Sidney Jones getting a lot of these defensive reps. Now, they're saying Sidney Jones is looking really good. He had back-to-back plays of the day in practice. They mostly come against Nate Sudfeld, but a ball in the air is a ball in the air, and you know what I mean? It is what it is. Now, I can see these reps helping Rasul Douglas and helping Avonte Maddox. I can really see that, man. But in the first padded practice, man, I'm hearing that the defense won. Now, that's a good thing, and that's a bad thing. Now, people got to understand this, that when you have stars on both sides of the ball, when you have developed players on both sides of the ball, like Nelson Aguilar is a developed wide receiver that we developed from the muscle. Grugier Hill, who had a pick six against Carson Wentz in the first padded practice, is a developed linebacker who's probably going to be on the field a lot, man. He's been the most consistent out of the linebacker core from what I'm hearing on in these drills. I think the pick six came on 7-on-7. Now, a lot of people know this about 7-on-7. A lot of people probably don't know this about 7-on-7, but this is the thing about 7-on-7. Sometimes you got one pass rusher, sometimes you got two pass rushers. So in 7-on-7, the quarterback has more time to deliver the ball, and the quarterback has less options at the same time, if that makes any sense. So it's kind of hard to get an interception on 7-on-7, but it's actually not that hard because it doesn't confuse the defense as much. 7-on-7s are mostly ran for time and plays. So basically a 7-on-7 is a three-step drop, and then the quarterback has to get rid of the ball. Those plays are called on 7-on-7 drills because it would be unfair for the defense if they call a long, drawn-out pass play on a 7-on-7 drill because there's no pass rush. So the quarterback literally will have all day. And corners and linebackers can't cover all day. So, shout out to Grugier Hill, man. He's been doing this thing out there, man. So the defense won. They're saying that, Hassan Ridgeway is in the backfield multiple times. Vinny Curry is in the backfield multiple times, and these guys are a part of a rotational program, and they're getting in the backfield and they're getting in Carson Wentz's face. They're disrupting his timing. Yesterday, they're disrupting. They're just there. I think Vinny Curry had back-to-back stops. I mean, obviously, they're not going to let you sack the quarterback. But if you get there, they're going to blow the whistle. Vinny Curry did that back-to-back time. So that's shout out to him. Carson Wentz didn't look so good with the pads on. He didn't look so good with the pads on. He overthrew a few receivers. He threw some bad balls. I mean, at the end of the day, you like to see balance. You like to see your defense be able to get at it. And you like to see your offense be able to get at it. It would be no fun if the offense was just tearing a whole lot of the defense's ass. The fact that the defense is competitive and the defense is willing to show like, hey, we can compete against an elite group like this, because that is an elite wide receiver group. That's an elite tight end. That's an elite quarterback. That's an elite running back. That's an elite offensive line. That's an elite offense. But we can't forget that we got an elite defensive line who can shut down, and they've done it time and time again in real game situations. Our elite defensive line has stifled the elite passing game of Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. They stifled the elite passing game of the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs, in the NFC Championship game. They stifled the elite passing game of the Atlanta Falcons, you know what I mean, in the first round after the bye of the playoffs in the divisional round. So they're very capable of stifling some high-powered passing offenses. They stifled the Rams. Our defensive front is one of the defensive fronts that are, you know, talked about as being one of the best in the game. So, you know, Carson Wentz has to still get it together, though. He has to understand that, yeah, you got the luxury of not having these guys come after you, but there are other good defensive fronts. You know what I mean? And you got to attribute that to game plan, too. Maybe Schwartz, you know, called a good game plan. Maybe, you know, these guys see each other a lot. So maybe Schwartz, the defense was just ready. There's no excuse. The defense was ready. So Eagles Nation, at the end of the day, it's not much to worry about, but you like to see that balance there where the defense can make the offense have an off game. The offense has been cooking the defense as of late. You know what I'm saying? But the defense is a real tight-knit group. The defense doesn't have as much change going on as the offense does. You see what I'm saying? The offense has the addition of Deshaun Jackson. The offense has the addition of Jordan Howard. The defense is still, for the most part, the same core group of guys who you know are going to get playing time. You know what I mean? And you even bringing back guys we had the Super Bowl year. Like Vinny Curry ain't new to what's going on in Philly. So the defense is real familiar. The defense, they got the better of the guys for the first padded practice. But from my football experience, I will say this. Throwing in pads for the first day is an adjustment period. Playing in pads for the first day is an adjustment period. You've been running around in T-shirts and shorts, you know, for the most part. But, you know, I think the offense will have a better showing now that they're in pads. But at the end of the day, man, I'm excited for the defense to be able to, you know, stifle the offense for a change. So there's nothing bad there, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles.